Hey, friends all over the world. I'm going to share something with you that many don't know and some don't want to know. But not only is this true, what I'm about to share with you, but it's critical. It's critically important, what I'm about to share. So you might want to hear this one. The great transfer of wealth has begun. The great transfer of wealth has begun. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that you don't know. I'm sure you don't know this. And the reason why I can be confident in saying I'm sure you don't know it is because we're not taught this. We don't talk about this in church. In fact, whenever a preacher talks about finances or money, it inflames people. It enrages people. It makes people sick to their stomachs. It turns people off, right? Yet, here's the profound irony of that. 85% of all prayer requests that come into ministries, and these are pastors, preachers, teachers, etc., have to do with money, have to do with finances. And yet, the cognitive dissonance in the church suggests that we should not discuss it. Don't talk about it. We're not supposed to focus on that. Yet, there is a hyper focus on finances in people's private lives. It literally consumes every conversation that they have. Money is cited as the number one reason for divorce in the United States. And by the way, 50% of all marriages in the United States end in divorce. And I repeat again, the number one reason cited, besides irreconcilable differences, is money. And yet, we don't want to talk about this. We don't want to say anything about it. And any preacher that talks about it is just after your money. He's a charlatan. He's a scam artist. And the list goes on and on and on. Yet, there is an unavoidable reality. An unavoidable reality. The transfer of wealth has already begun. It's already begun. Are you not paying attention to the news? Did you not know that the DOJE literally just at a press conference unveiling $1 trillion of taxpayer money that was lost to fraud? $1 trillion? While we're sitting here right now, do you know that millions of US dollars have been given in the funding of terrorism across the world? In the funding of all kinds of debauchery, all kinds of perversion, the mutilating of children, etc. And yet here the church is. You church folks don't want to talk about finances. And in a country of 360 million people, where 260 million claim to be Christians, only 6% of Christians in the United States tithe. A very small percentage of people that profess Christianity attend their churches regularly. And so there is a lie being told us. A lie being told us by liberals, a lie being told us by the godless, who want us to believe that the greatest threat to the church are pastors. I've heard people preach that the greatest threat to Christianity in America is the American pulpit. And though that may feed your ego and tickle your fancy, it is a lie. It is a lie. The greatest threat to Christianity is not the American pulpit. The greatest threat to Christianity is Christians. Christians. Church folks. Church folks who don't want to study the Bible. Church folks who don't want to inform themselves. Church people who want to live in a glass house and look down their long religious noses at society. That's the threat. The threat is that we are running the risk, church, of becoming irrelevant. Yes, we might make it to heaven, but we will be irrelevant in society. And while we're infighting and we're attacking one another on blogs and Christian posts and articles, and we're enriching ourselves by trying to destroy one another, the devil is the one laughing. Because the truth of the matter is, if we don't understand the financial revival that not only is coming to the United States and abroad, if we don't understand the need for believers to be empowered economically, the need for believers to be empowered economically, the need for believers to know what the scripture actually says about money, that in the 66 books of the Bible there were more verses on finances than any other subject matter. Why? Because, hear this as I get ready to end this live. The reason why that is absolutely critical is because nothing fortifies the demonic and nothing destroys the demonic like money. Nothing fortifies, nothing attracts the demonic, nothing invokes demons like money. If you don't believe me, watch this. Let a parent leave an inheritance to one child and not another. Let people find out their deceased loved ones has a hidden life insurance policy. You will see some of the worst in people. This is why the scripture says the love of money is the root of all evil. All kinds of evil. People are capable of such demonic things. People will traffic a child for money. They will kill their parents for money. They will rob a liquor store, take a life for finances. And yet we say in the church, money's not important. You have to be a fool to believe that. You have to be the most ignorant person on the planet to believe that money is not important. And we conflate scriptures, for example, the love of money is the root of all evil, for suggesting that money somehow is not important. Not only is it important, but it is vital to the next great move of God. It is vital to the next great move of God. In fact, the revival that's coming will be characterized by a great transference of wealth. A great transference of wealth is coming. And here's the issue. It's already here. And hear this. It just depends on which side of the transfer you're on. It's not a matter of whether or not the transfer is going to take place. It's just about which side of the transference you're going to be on. Are you going to be on the receiving end or the giving end of the transference? Watch this. Is it going to be stripped from you or entrusted to you? We need to wake up, beloved. Every other faith system in the world understands this except Christians, except the church. We're so up in arms and tightwad over finances that we don't really want to have the biblical conversations necessary. It is time for the church to be empowered. Run from any preacher telling you, oh no, it ain't about all that prosperity. They're an idiot. I'm telling you, any preacher telling you that we don't need to talk about finances is an absolute idiot. Run from that congregation, run from that church, because they don't love you, nor do they love the Lord or the Bible. Because if they did, they would teach you. I believe we are in one of the greatest transference of all, and we need to have three things in this hour: radical faith, radical obedience, and radical giving.